Hi, I'm Jim Riley. Welcome to Hometown Spotlight. I had to check to me. Hometown Spotlight.
All right.
I got some very dear friends with me today. We have Brad Poster. You are Executive Director of United Way. What's the title?
That's correct, Executive
Director. And Perry Lasher, you're the committee chair for?
The 7th annual Leo Lasher Catfish Derby.
Tell them who Leo Lasher is.
Leo's my dad.
Yeah.
When he passed away in 1999, I vowed to fish on his birthday every year, which I have done.
Right, yeah.
But then some number of years later, we decided to take that a step further. I always wanted to do a catfish derby or a fishing derby.
Right.
And I figured, look, Brad's already invented the thing. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. So we joined forces.
I like that idea.
Yep.
Now, for those of you who know, I'm an Athenian. Perry's an Athenian. And our family spreads all over. And I was just telling you how much I loved Leo. He's one of those guys in Athens that was very dear to us all.
Yeah.
So I like the whole idea of the derby. So lay it out for the folks. Tell us what it is, where it is, when it is, that kind of stuff.
Right. And feel free to correct me when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Brad's job is that.
Yeah, I mean, this thing started, it was Brad's genius, started as a fundraiser for the United Way, well, it'll be 7 years ago now.
Right.
Started very small, kept growing incrementally each year, and then when we jumped in, and now we've ramped this thing up to, last year I think we raised about $15,000 for the United Way. This year our goal is 20, and by the way, every dollar of that goes back into community organizations.
I think that's a key. We'll talk to you about that a little later. That's something I've always admired about the United Way of Columbia Green County.
But as far as the event itself, this year it's July 15th. The festivities themselves happen at Dutchman's Landing in Catskill from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
I have to tell you, that's a beautiful spot.
Yeah, very nice site.
It really is.
And Brad does a fantastic job laying that out and organizing all the volunteers and the vendors. But you can start fishing 12:01 a.m.
Right.
And trust me, there are people fishing in the dark.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
So fish from then. You got to have your fish into the Dutchman's Landing weigh-in station alive at some point between 10 and 2 to qualify for the prize.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you said you fished the river.
The river or any of the tidal tributaries are eligible. Yep.
Which is everything. Catskill Creek.
Exactly. Stockport Creek.
Stockport Creek across the way. What's really amazing, and living here, you should be aware of this. That's a big thing. Fishing in general is very, very big in our community.
Very big.
So it's not surprising that it became what it became.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of our grassroots effort to get people to register, we literally just go up and down the river during the summer along the shorelines and hand people the flyers for the derby because they're already there fishing.
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting when you look at it because sometimes you're, all right, how do I get people to get involved? But they're there already. Yeah. And it's just a wonderful experience. Now, as you look at it, what is the feedback you get from the people who fish in the tournament?
Everybody has a blast. I mean, and that's the key. And that's where my daughter and I got involved. We saw the Brad's roadside signs, Catfish Derby, call Brad, or actually I think it was call Catfish Joe was the first slogan we used. And I was like, that would be a cool day. And my daughter really hadn't gotten into fishing yet, but we spent an entire day fishing. It was literally one of the best father-daughter days we've ever had. So that's when we came up with the brainstorm. Hey, let's do this together. Let's do more than participate.
Right. Now, how many people do you expect to get?
I think we're hoping for between 500 and 750 people to be registered to fish. Now, and that doesn't include the developmentally disabled kids and adults that we sponsor to come to Dutchman's Landing and fish with us.
Tell us a little bit about that. I like that.
This was, again, a brainchild of Brad's here, but we'll let people sponsor or encourage people to sponsor these kids, and we've got a couple different organizations that come, bring the fishing poles, bring the bait, manage the process so no one's harming themselves.
Right.
And they can.
Which I don't even want to think about fly fishing. But, no, but it's true. They have to be supervised.
Yeah, that's coming from a guy who put a hook in his own ear.
Oh,
so, and we've got some really heartwarming letters from the various associations that bring the kids about what a wonderful day they had. So it's a great touch that Brad came up with.
Yeah. So the Catfish Derby. Let me switch over to Brad for a second. Now this started where? Where did you do it originally?
Well, we started at Anglers Marine, generously sponsored by Lance Del Vecchio over there.
Right.
We like to do fundraisers that are different. We like to do what people like to do. So we don't have an annual gala, and UPS has our golf tournament for us, and people love to fish.
Yeah, I think it's important to realize if you're going to reach people, you really need to do something that they're into.
Exactly. So we had it at over there at Anglers Marine for the first 3 years.
Right.
And then we moved it over right on the river at Dutchman's Landing. And the village of Catskill has embraced this, so they waive the fee to use the park.
Oh,
and we
that's
have a
wonderful.
tremendous amount of participation. Mike West at Big Top Tent Rentals donates the tent. And Save a Lot in Coxsackie donates the food. And Kohl's department store sends over volunteers that cook the food. And we give it away. So the Catfish Derby has become a real family destination.
Because that's one thing, when we talked about the people, we didn't talk about everybody else that comes along to enjoy the day. You must really like that part of it.
Yeah, no, that's right. The community has definitely embraced the event. You know, and it's funny, literally I was at Crossroads the other night, and by the way, Ken and Janine are sponsors of the Derby as well.
Right.
But Kenny said, like, the Derby just has its own mojo now. It's got its own momentum. It's, while we still promote it, it's just known every year. Catfish Derby, let's get in it, let's do it.
That's wonderful. Now, the sponsorships have to be very positive, very big.
Exactly. That's a huge part of the fundraising effort. And we'll talk about this later in the call to action, but our website this year allows people to go on and if you don't want to fish, just get on, make a donation, just get on, sponsor a child, or just be a community sponsor and jump in and donate money that way.
I like that there's options.
Yeah. We have learned every year, we've learned something new that we didn't see coming. When this started, we only had 38 people, and it was a bunch of salty fishermen.
And that died in the wool time.
This coming from the dudes in suits talking about fishing.
So the next year we started seeing minivans come in with families, and we realized that parents were getting their kids up early and getting them across the finish line no matter what size fish they had. And then we saw things like sponsors coming in. And incidentally, Harrington's Lumber has become one of the biggest sponsors, other than the Bank of Greene County and Mid-Hudson Cable.
That's Sawyer Chevy.
And Sawyer, well, I was getting to that.
No, because it's kind of funny, but you really have to recognize these people, because people have a notion they should do all of the things. Well, they do. They do it all the time. And if you don't tell people that they're participating, then it's not really fair to them. They've been so
I asked
good.
Ed Harrington, why do you sponsor this event? And he said because he likes to sponsor events that bring people together. So when he started sponsoring the Columbia County Rail Trail, it was because of the same reason. And Jen Hagan at G&H Lumber found it in her heart to donate money to sponsor individuals with developmental disabilities. And so when Mark French from what used to be Special Needs is now In Flight, brought over the first individuals, he said that was the best day they had. And now they offer fishing as an out day event.
And that's one, we're mentioning sponsors, and James Reynolds, the president of Mid-Hudson Cablevision, has always been community oriented. Because when you do business in the community, you also want people to recognize they know they're part of the community and they want to be a part of the community. And that's what I like about all these sponsorships. Why don't you list them again, your major sponsors?
Well, let's see. We'll be Sawyer Chevrolet. Sawyer Chevrolet sponsors the biggest prize of the event. When somebody sets the state record
during the Derby.
During the Derby, they drive away in a brand new Sawyer Chevrolet pickup truck, and they're pulling a brand new boat motor and trailer from Riverview Marine Services, Mike Aguirre. That's huge. And we have 2 uniformed DEC officers on site to witness this. And then Harrington Lumber has been a huge sponsor. Of course, our event chairman, Perry Lasher, is involved heavily as a sponsor, both financially and emotionally.
You know what I like about him? He's still modest.
I like
that about much like his style, very modest.
And so we also have Intelligent Technology Solutions, ITS, that's Joe Wolodkovich. CIA Security is a huge one. And of course, the Hagan family at G&H Lumber is big. And then the Slutsky Family Foundation, Columbia Memorial Health is a big one.
Oh, and one we'd be remiss from forgetting here too. Happens to be a client, a friend of mine, Sequence Development. Now this is our reach. This is stretched up the river as well. Sequence Development is a Troy-based company. He is a real estate developer.
But see, that's how the river runs. The river extends too. Like we're in our community, but the river extends there as well. And again, a shout out to James Reynolds, Mid-Hudson Cable. He's just so good to.
He has been a big supporter of the United Way of Columbia and Greene County every year.
But I mean,
And also Steve Mortifolio over there.
Yeah, Steve has been very good in that
We have
regard.
challenges during the contest. The team challenge is 4 people who register as a team, and the
Right.
combined lengths of 4 catfish
Okay.
determines the prize.
Yeah.
And the prize is a day of fishing on the river with a charter boat captain, Bob Lewis of Catskill, with
Fins and Grins.
Fins and Grins.
Yeah.
But that's fishing.
Yeah,
Fins
exactly.
and Grins, that's fishing. Yeah, he's got the right name for
And
that.
we also have a Mid-Hudson Cable Challenge in the kids category for the 2 smallest catfish of the day.
Oh, no, that I like. I like, because that's me.
Yeah.
You know, if I was going to qualify, I'm not a kid, but I would definitely have the smallest fish.
Yeah. But
Jumping back real quick
Yeah.
to that sequence development and Jeff Beal, and one thing we haven't mentioned yet is the prize for the longest fish of the day.
Yeah.
So historically, we had offered a $500 cash
Right.
prize, which in and of itself is nice. And this year we said, look, we're going to bump this to $1,000.
Right.
Well, Jeff reached out and said, you know what? That's not enough. I'm going to donate $500, but it's got to go to the first prize. So
Right.
this year, the prize for the longest fish of the day, record-breaking or otherwise, is
Right.
$1,500 cash on the spot.
Well, you know, I don't know what to think about that, because that is so generous from sponsorship.
Right.
I mean, and it makes everything much more exciting. I mean, it isn't just winning is the biggest thing. I
Right.
mean, you want to be the guy that said, I won $1,500. But without the sponsorship and that generosity, see, I really see all of these types of events as a reflection of the spirit of generosity. And you know, your whole business is based on that, Brad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Our mission statement has been for many years activating the caring power of the community.
Yeah.
And many times, whether it was Hurricane Irene or any other personal disaster, people rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
So when we start listing sponsors, what becomes more apparent than anything are the ones we leave out.
Yeah.
So I have to mention that Bill Williams and iHeartRadio is a
Oh,
huge
yeah.
sponsor,
Yeah.
as well as Jay Fink up at WRIP.
I like him. I like Jay Fink. Up on the mountaintop.
Jay's a card.
But see, that's the other thing. We're talking about the Hudson River, but the mountaintop is involved.
Very
Say it
much
again.
so.
WRIP.
WRIP.
Jay Fink.
Jay Fink.
Now,
That's exactly
one of our
right.
dear friends used to be up there. Guy Garrigan, remember?
Oh, yes.
I mean, a legend in these parts, one of the great voices in radio, passed, and we certainly miss him, but Jay does great stuff up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And talking about the reach beyond the river communities, last year we had people from 7 states register for the Derby.
Wow.
Yeah.
That it's really getting out. Now, you talk about a website. Is it for the Derby, or is that on the United Way website?
No, that was Perry's brainstorm entirely. Tell us about it.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
New website we developed this year, not to talk about your competition, but
Right.
Cathode Ray Media was fantastic in working
Right.
with us to develop it. It's the www.unitedwaycatfishderby.com. And
Nice.
that's where you've got all the options laid out. You've got some great photos, little history of the event.
history of the event,
Yep,
yeah.
lists our sponsors on the page. It's a
Right.
lot more seamless, a lot easier to get through.
And we're
Right.
still adding content to it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's great. All right, should we take a break? I'm looking, he's nodding. Our producer, Ryan Oswald, again, talking about one of the good guys. Our producer, cameraman, all-around great guy, Ryan Oswald. We want to thank him for his support as well. We're going to give you a few messages. We're going to come back, talk a little bit more about United Way. We'll be right back.
If you're having problems with your high-speed internet, we're here to help. Slow internet could be caused by a number of issues, such as too many connected devices, your router location, loose wires, or even interference from other appliances. Give Mid-Hudson Cable a call today, and we can help locate the problem and repair it to get you back to having the fastest internet possible.
Welcome back. Remember, this is Hometown Spotlight, and we're talking about the annual Catfish Derby and the United Way. I have Perry Lasher, committee chairman, and he's the guy. He kind of put this big thing together, and you built on it. Brad Poster, executive director of United Way. You and I have a history because I used to be on your board. I used to do stuff with you. I am so proud of what United Way does for the community. I love your history. I love the things you do.
Well, thank you.
Give us a little more about what's going on with United Way.
Well, let's see. At the United Way, Columbia and Greene counties right now, we're totally involved in our biggest fundraiser of the year while we're here.
Right.
And also, most
By
of
the
the
way,
money.
let's remind them what you said. You're shooting for 20,000. I mean, that's a wonderful
And
accomplishment.
that's net. That's not gross.
That's
net.
what
That's after we
because
pay
of
the
support,
bills.
Yeah, we get the support. It's just exciting that the whole community's involved in it. That's wonderful.
Yeah, we're very fortunate about
Now,
that.
tell us the process and some of the things you do and how the United Way serves.
Well, that's a great question. United Way of Columbia and Greene County serves the two counties by funding programs that are conducted by nonprofits within the two county area. Most of the money that we raise comes from the workplace employee campaign.
Right, those are the heart and soul of the
That's right, and
campaign.
that's where the people in the community get a chance to be part of the community by donating small, medium, or large amounts out of their paycheck once a week.
Right.
Or once every payday.
Right.
And we've been very, very fortunate in that area because we have a process through a application and grant process. And we've been able to fund a lot of human services programs around the area that include food pantries, adult literacy programs. We have in the past also domestic violence programs, substance abuse programs, things of that nature.
What I like is user organizations that are well established, that know how to serve and serve successfully, instead of trying to create something as you go along.
Yeah,
I think that's very efficient.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so the result of our Catfish Derby last year, we combined the profits from the UPS donation and the Catfish Derby, and we allocated funds to 17 local nonprofits to the penny.
Right.
So we didn't keep any money for administrative purposes.
It goes out in the community.
Just went all out.
Yeah.
Into the
And what I
community.
like, again, serving both counties, because I think one of the weird discussions before we end, we're Greene County folk, and the whole notion that the river separates us really isn't true. We are the same community. This is us. Columbia. I worked 20 years at the college, so I feel very strongly about that. That we're one. We're not separate. The river is there, but we're not separate.
Somebody had a
We're
great
one.
slogan. It's a bridge. Get over it.
Yeah.
You know, that we had an event on September 17th in 2011, and I thought, what is the biggest obstacle that we actually have in the two county area, and that is the bridge.
Yeah.
People think that Catskill is so far from Hudson.
Right.
So I invited 1,000 people to connect the two counties by holding hands across the Rip Van Winkle Bridge.
What a great concept.
That was going to be a fundraiser for United Way, but it actually happened 7 days after Hurricane Irene caused all the damage on the mountain.
Yeah.
So it became a fundraiser for that specifically.
Right, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that we all really need to think about. We are all neighbors, and the river's there, but it doesn't mean we're separate. We shouldn't think in those terms.
That's true.
Never think in those terms. Now, how do you allocate the funds? How does that happen? What's that
Well,
process?
that's a process. We make a legal notice in the Columbia Green Media newspapers that we're accepting applications. And then my office manager, Teresa Lyons, who we are absolutely blessed to have, Teresa.
Yeah.
She sends an application to everybody, every organization who has ever applied, whether they were granted or denied.
Right.
We send the application out. We call a few people that I meet during the year that I say you should apply for funding.
Yeah.
We have 4 impact areas that the application needs to meet, which is basically strengthening families, assisting children, assisting the senior community, and families facing challenges.
Yeah.
And so we accept the applications, and then me and my board of directors go over the applications first. We look for yellow flags.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to call the applicant back and say, can you fix
clarify a little bit or
fix it.
No, because here that's such an important concept. I'm glad you brought that up. People should not feel that you're looking to turn them down.
No.
You're looking to accept
If anything, they're
them.
looking for a reason
and
to
so
do it. Yeah.
Don't not do it because you're afraid that they really want to turn you down. They want to accept you, and you'll give them help in that regard.
So then I assemble a group of people from the community that don't work for the United Way. I involve my board of directors.
Very important.
And then it's public money. So I invite the public in to decide how much and who
Right.
gets granted. And I think you were on the allocation
Yeah,
board.
and the representatives from those organizations that have applied actually come and make a pitch,
Right.
a presentation. They come in and present
Which
to
is
us.
good, because then there may be something missing in the application. You can ask them to clarify
Yeah.
or expand on the information given.
And many times applicants ask for way more than is available.
Right.
And sometimes the allocations boards decides to double the amount
Right.
that was applied for.
Right.
For example, we have a food kitchen in Catskill that was doubled. The Salvation Army was doubled.
Right.
They do great work next
They
door.
really do. They're right next door to us here on
Yeah.
Union Street in Hudson.
Yeah,
That's
for now.
where-
They
for
have
now.
new digs down on Warren Street, 11 Warren Street coming up.
Good, okay. But that whole process, what I like is communities involved. That's terribly important.
We've also picked up support from a man named John Vargo, who prints a magazine called Boating on the Hudson and Beyond. This magazine is available in every marina, a lot of taverns, like at Stewart House,
Right.
and it's distributed from Manhattan to wherever the Hudson River starts.
Right.
And so he has been a big supporter of the Catfish Derby, both in text and in photos, and now he covers the event before the event and after the event.
Right.
Because of that, an organization down in Nyack heard about the Catfish Derby called the Hudson River Fishermen's Association.
Right.
And they drive 2 hours north just to be part of our Catfish Derby. And they usually send about eight to 12 people, and they help the children and the individuals with developmental disabilities bait the hook
Right.
and catch the fish and bring them in. And you know, one of the most rewarding parts of this whole event is to see the result of the kids and the families
Yeah.
and the individuals catching the fish and feeling the tension on the line.
Yeah.
It's really wonderful. I personally don't touch the fish.
Not without gloves on, right? Yeah.
No. without gloves.
Sounds fishy,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But bump them. I'm thinking. I'm not putting you on the spot.
All right.
Because I think I have an idea. I'm not sure.
All right.
Where does Hudson River start? Tier of the Cloud. Is it Tier of the
It's like
Cloud?
up Warren County, I believe.
Yeah, it's way up. I think it's called Tier of the Cloud. It's a lake or something.
Right.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
We'll have to do some research on it.
Yeah.
And when you find out, put it on the site.
Yeah,
But
we
I think
don't,
it's
we don't
Tier of the-
condone speeding, but you'd have
Yeah.
to drive pretty fast to get
Yeah.
your fish down
Yeah.
to Catskill.
Yeah, because I know Mississippi is like Itasca or something.
Yeah.
That's where that's. But I think it's Tier of the Cloud, something like that. I heard it somewhere. Could be good for Jeopardy or something like that. Anything else you want to share about United Way before we go back to the Derby?
I do. Many times we get asked on a personal level before and after the allocation grants are available. The United Way has a phone number that everyone should know about.
Yes.
911 is emergencies, 411 is for telephone information,
Right.
but 211 is a national telephone number that the United Way was given in the year 2000 by the
Right.
FCC, and it's specifically a directory for information. So no matter what the person is looking for, dial 211, you talk to a human being, and you don't even have to know anything more than the story.
Right.
So if a person, for example, says, my husband and I have just lost both our jobs, I don't even know where a food pantry is.
Right.
The caller will say, what's your zip code? Get a pencil and paper.
Right.
And we also have a memorandum of understanding with the 911 organization. So if 911 gets a call that's a non-emergency call,
Right.
they can flip the switch and send it down to 211.
Good.
And if 211 gets an emergency call from Columbia or Greene County, they send it back up to the
Right.
sheriff's
So
department.
you don't just cut them off and they're
Right.
on their own.
That's right.
You-
And
you
we have
sources.
1,700 sources of help in our
Right.
database just for Columbia and Greene County.
Wonderful. Great work, Brad.
Thank you
not
very much,
surprised
but
with you.
we're a team.
Yeah, that's true. It's so true, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
Okay, so Brad Poster, he's the guy, executive director, United Way, Columbia, Greene County. Let's get back to Perry Lasher. I like this guy. He's really good. And he's a good guest because he kind of makes me look charming, which is good. So let's go back to Catfish Derby. Let's be specific now about how to get involved. Either you're going to enter the contest, you want to come down
That's
for
a good
day,
question.
just have fun.
Yeah.
Are you welcome to come down for the day?
Yep.
How can you support it? Let's give them that
A
rundown.
couple of specific ways to register if you want to fish.
Yes.
You can register at any branch of the Bank of Greene County.
Okay.
Don Gibson and my superiors there are kind enough to let us use the bank staff and locations.
And you
can
do
go
have them in both counties?
Yes.
You got them in both counties?
Yep.
And in Kingston.
Yeah.
And in Albany.
Nice.
So you can register at any branch. Also, again, the website, UnitedWayCatfishDerby.com.
Right.
Register there to fish, or again, you can sponsor a child, you can just donate,
Right.
go on and read a little ditty about the history of the event.
Yeah.
If you want to just participate in the day's events, you don't have to fish. You can show up at Dutchman's Landing and hang out.
Just enjoy the day and experience it.
See Brad handling the fishing gloves.
I love to see that. But the other thing, you talked about food. Whenever you mention food, I'm interested.
Yeah.
But there's no charge for it. You just come down and enjoy the day.
That's it. Cole's, like I said, sends the volunteers there to cook the food, save a lot, donates 200 hot dogs and hamburgers, Price Chopper, ShopRite, Lowe's department store. They all are involved in the food section of our...
Good friend of mine, Craig Clark, the local Freihofer's guy, donates the buns for the event.
Nice.
So, thank you, Craig.
Yeah. Thank you, because I'm not taking a burger without the bun. There's some things we have to have. So, phone numbers, anything else you want to share? Anything you want to do about the Derby?
755-2155.
Right.
That's the United Way cell phone number, but it will be turned into the Catfish Derby hotline 30 days before the event.
Oh, okay.
With all of the information about the website, how to register, things like that. And there's a lot of people who don't have computers and are not literate on the computer. They can just walk right in my office and register right there.
Oh, good.
Or any bank branch of the Bank of Greene County. We are very thankful
One important piece I don't think we've mentioned yet, it's $15 to register.
Oh, okay.
Always register.
Obviously it's a donation to the event, but it's 15 to register. But there are prizes for many different age groups and categories. We got all kinds of giveaways and merchandise, plus the free food and music.
Every person.
You can win $1,500 if you catch the longest fish.
Have a good day on the river.
Yes, every catfish that's entered goes to the prize table and picks something off. Right.
Nice.
Every single one.
I like that.
It might just be a flashlight. It might be a bait. It might be something. But everybody gets something to go away with.
That's good. Now, I'm going to ask you to look at the camera and be very formal.
All right.
The title of the event, the date of the event, the location of the event.
All right. The 7th Annual United Way Leo Lasher Catfish Derby, July 15, 2017, at Dutchman's Landing in Catskill. Again, festivities at the site begin at 10 a.m., but you can begin fishing at 12:01 a.m.
We set up at 7 in the morning.
Right.
Every year, there's people at 7 in the morning ready to check their fish in and go to work.
Right.
So it's never too early to come on down and enter the contest.
One important tidbit, which I touched on briefly before, this is a catch and release event.
Right.
Last year we did not lose a fish.
Right.
So it was part of the reason we moved to Dutchman's Landing. You bring your fish in alive, we measure it quick, back in the river it goes.
I like that. That's very, very good. Okay, Hometown Spotlight, Jim Riley, Brad Polster, Executive Director, United Way, Columbia Greene County, Perry Lasher, Catfish Derby Committee Chair, and all-around nice guy, one of my old friends from Athens. Thanks for joining us, guys. We appreciate it very, very much, and thanks for your good work in the community.
Thank you, Jim.
We want to thank you for joining us as well. We look forward to seeing you again real soon on Hometown Spotlight.